Every time I grab a hold of my car and I get a little nervous when I'm driving, it's all the coffee, right?
Yeah, it happens to me too.
Car guy.
Westside Auto Pros, Ron the Car Guys here, and today we want to talk, because it's been so darn cold, about door locks and frozen door locks.
Absolutely, and frozen doors themselves, and we're certainly seeing a lot of that now, because we've gone through the freeze-thaw cycle, and it starts out rain, it turns to snow, and then people go out and try to get into their car, and either the door lock's frozen, which isn't as big of an issue now because a lot of people don't use their key to get into the car. They're using a key fob.
Right.
But the door still freezes shut, and they can't get it open. And ultimately, if you don't exercise caution, you damage components. So I just want to talk a little bit about things that you can do to prevent damage. Certainly one of them along the door lock issue is I recommend that people just carry a can of this in the car. This is aerosol lock de-icer, because sometimes you'll hit your remote fob and you won't see the door lock move up and down, so you know it's frozen.
I was gonna say, how do you know if it's the lock or if it's the physical?
Well, if you can't hear or see it move up and down,
it's the lock.
Yeah, it's going to be the lock. And
So this is better than warm water.
Absolutely, or warm coffee in Marty Terrell's case, who doesn't listen to me. But anyway, yeah, and really all this is isopropyl alcohol. This is rubbing alcohol that's pressurized in a little can. Somehow the lid comes off. There we go. And you basically just stick it in there and push it, and it'll just shoot.
So that almost looks like a...
There we go. Whoa.
Wrong way, wasn't it? You didn't I thought it was going to go that way, right?
We didn't rehearse that either.
Unlocked my mouth.
Good thing you weren't smoking.
New Year's Eve.
It is
Women can also keep that in their purse.
I should have safety
Strangers
glasses
away.
on.
Does Ted have work comp here?
I hope so.
So it's also a good way to keep your hands clean. You just spray that on there.
Yeah, it could be used like a hand sand. I mean, it is. It's just
okay?
it's isopropyl.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
All right. Do we have a
That's better than a
sponsor
shot of
that's like an
whiskey,
eye
you know?
doctor? Anything we can call in? But anyway, I mean, this will work. It works quickly. It works. I mean, because obviously alcohol will melt ice or disperse moisture and stuff.
Okay.
But the other thing to keep in mind too, and this is just a real quick tip. I mean, if you go out and you try to get into your car and it won't unlock or the door won't open or something like that, try the other doors. Because depending on how the car's sitting, everything, the wind might have been driving it in on the driver's side, and that side's froze. I mean, before you get into a panic, walk over to the passenger side, see if one of those doors will open.
Crawl in the trunk, kick in the back seat.
Well, you could do that.
If you really have to get in.
Exactly.
But is this all caused because people are washing their car and then letting it sit out, or how does it work?
A lot of it is, Jason keeps bringing these warmer 30, 40 degree days, and everything melts.
Yeah.
And then it refreezes.
Yeah.
We had one a couple days ago. I mean, I was all excited in the middle of the day because you walk out and the pavement was wet and stuff like that. And then when I went to leave work, I about slipped and fell because it had refrozen. And that stuff runs down into your vehicle, into the locks and stuff like that. So it's washing, can create this problem, but a lot of times it's just the outside environment.
And once in a while, I worry about breaking a door handle. I can't
Right
get
here.
the open. How's that work?
These
It's like a paper clip.
Well, yeah, it's a chip clip. You put it on your bag of chips and stuff there. But no, this is a door handle, and we replace a lot of these this time of year because these are fragile. They're not as robust as they used to be. There's a lot of plastic components and springs and stuff in there. But this is not designed to pull your door open when it's froze to the car.
When you look at it by itself, it's like, how is that gonna,
Yeah, but it does. It'll snap off on the studs right here, or it'll break off. People come in, they're holding the outside part and they can't open their door anymore and stuff.
They're all stunned.
This is the worst. And the other thing to keep in mind, I mean, cars are getting lighter, so the metal on them's thinner. So I mean, you're pulling on this, you're flexing the metal on the door. This is the worst handle. This is made to pivot and open the door. It's not made as leverage to pull the door open. If your door is actually frozen shut, the best thing to do is, again, even a bottle of isopropyl alcohol would work. Pour it around the edge where the ice is, because that's all this is.
That's like rubbing alcohol, right?
Yeah.
You use all these big words, I get confused. Right?
Rubbing alcohol, which is probably $1 at Walgreens instead of $3 for this.
Right.
But that would melt the ice going around there, and then try to get your fingers, between the door and the vehicle, and pull on the whole door. Don't use this as a level.
Tell me what this is. I've been intrigued here.
Yeah, Stan, the producer, was looking at that outside too. He wasn't. He thought it belonged on the soundboard in there or something.
Yeah.
But this is actually the part you're going to actually recognize is on the other side.
All right.
If you open your door and look at the door,
Oh, yeah.
that's the striker. That's where the door latches to the car.
Right here.
Now, when I was in high school, I had a '78 Honda Civic. It was brown, so as you can imagine, I didn't date much. But the door.
Now,
in the-
was it brown originally, or was that the
was
color it
origi-
became after it rusted?
originally brown. It did
Okay.
have a lot of rust on it, but when I'd go around corners in the winter, the door would fly open all the time. So I'd have to hold the door when I went around a left turn.
You hadn't heard about rope, had
So
you?
you
And then
got rid of your dates, is what you're saying.
Is this what happened? Is that wasn't working?
You were a total mess in
I
school.
was,
You realize
I really
that?
was.
You get to play with all sorts of fun things.
We do. Yeah, this is actually the latch. And what I wanted to point out, I mean, this is the only piece that you really see in your car, and it looks heavy duty. It looks like it's metal and stuff, but the entire body of this is plastic. We've even now, you can see an electrical connector. We've even now incorporated the power door lock into this
Okay.
component. I mean, this thing's probably a couple $100. You've got all these different springs that go in there, and moisture gets in here, freezes this up, and again, pulling and tugging on stuff, it doesn't take much to crack and break plastic, and you know, we're seeing a high casualty rate on these.
And it's brittle because it's cold.
Exactly. Yeah, it's plastic. It's cold plastic now, which is even
Right.
worse. So what I usually recommend people do as a preventative measure for a lot of this stuff is, first off, I mean, as we go into winter, or if we get a nice day and everything's thawed out on your car, put something in the lock and go inside where the striker is here and spray a product in here. I recommend WD-40. It
Yeah,
disperses
that's good
moisture.
stuff. That's like the universal.
It is. You can't get duct tape in here, so we got to use WD-40.
Right.
They haven't made aerosol duct tape yet. But we're gonna spray that in
$1
there. We're gonna
idea.
spray it in the lock, and that keeps the moisture from collecting in there and freezing. So it's a preventative. And then the other big thing is, if you open the door on your vehicle, either on the door or on the body of the vehicle, there will be the thick rubber weather stripping going around there. You can go to a parts store and you can buy like an all-purpose weather strip grease, which, you know, they'll look at you funny because no one ever buys it. Or you can use like some petroleum jelly, like some Vaseline, and just take a light coat of that and put it on that rubber, and then the moisture won't get in there and freeze it shut.
Fascinating.
So-
I'll tell you what, one other quick question. This is
Sure.
completely off the door lock thing. So the other day, I'm driving one of these state cars. It even had one of the, what do you call them, license plates, no one can figure out.
Right.
But
Secret plate.
ours,
Oh,
we gotta
wow,
figure
yeah.
out. So I'm thinking, do I speed? What do I do? I've never been in one of these before.
I would speed. I would go like really fast and see what happens.
Well, the crazy thing is we can identify it right away as much as that. But make a long story short, so we pull over because it's snowing, it's sleeting, and we didn't have enough windshield washer fluid, which is important to keep this time of year, right? A lot of
Yep.
windshield.
Yeah.
So the guy driving opens up the hood, I run in and get the bottle, he opens up the cap and I dump it in. We drive about 3 miles down the road, and there's still no windshield washer fluid. So we knew something was wrong. And I thought, Ron the car guy would know what to do. But we needed to do something right away. So we pulled over, and I looked under, and I'm looking to see if there's a hose off or something. We poured it in the antifreeze hole instead of the. Does that cause any problem?
Probably not on a state vehicle.
Now, we're not going to tell anybody at the station that we did this.
No,
Ron.
because they're all still sleeping. They don't start till 9.
Right.
You hit me right in the heart now, Ron.
The short answer to that is no, because you couldn't have got that much in there.
Right.
But
A whole gallon.
Well-
what to do? Boil over the? We figured the alcohol boil out.
well, and it's going to overfill it. It's going to push it out. I mean, it's not going to freeze. It's not the worst thing to put in there.
So I may still have a job when I get back to.
Well, especially if they don't find out. So
And they never will now.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We
Let's
never
not
put
talk
this,
about this when we get on the air.
Never put this on YouTube at all.
Ron, it is a pleasure.
Awesome.
Westside Auto Pros, you always do some great information and
Yeah,
great
and
tips.
if people want more information, because the temperatures are going to stay pretty cold out there,
Yeah,
so
they
this
are.
is bound to happen. Where can they find you?
They can find us at westsideautopros.com. The other item they can do is we've got a 24-hour emergency number. It's 515-309-1911. If you're locked out of your car, have a flat tire, need a jump start, we'll come 24/7, take care of it for you.
There you go.
Good man. What a fun
And don't
segment.
pour hot coffee on your windshield this morning.
Marty Terrell.
Yeah, but we're just getting started. We also have an NFL referee that's coming in, Scott Halverson, who played for the Iowa Hawkeyes. We're dressed in college colors. Terry, Jason, and Jackie will be back moments from right now. Don't go away. It's Tuesday, the final day of 2013, and it's